Hey everyone, it's Ethan Ormes back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for some more COD League, and I'm super excited for today's video, so let's get into it. We've got some predictions for Major 4, of course, the last event before Champs, and yeah, I'm super pumped. Of course, we've got 3 weeks of qualifying matches. Going to be some fun ones, but obviously, let's take a look at this week first. I've only got 8 minutes to lock in my predictions for today, so we got to do that pretty quickly. So to start things off today, we have New York versus Florida, which is very interesting. Of course, it's a new look Florida team with Too Real and Major Maniac on there instead of Vivid, and I actually don't know if it was Dave that was dropped or if it was Skies. I'm not sure. I never actually took a look at that. I'm sure I could probably find that somewhere. Maybe not actually. Let's go take a look at Breaking Point. See if they've got any news here recently. Yeah, I don't think so. Not looking too good, unfortunately. Yeah, no, not really looking good for us right now. Well, unfortunately, we're just gonna go for it. Nonetheless, yeah, we got a new look Munir's roster, which is very interesting. I'm intrigued to see how that pans out for them. Now, obviously, the standings are very important right now. So, yeah, there it is. You see Minnesota, Florida, New York, and Paris currently not in the playoff picture right now if playoffs were to start today. So, obviously, there's a big match. We have 2 of the bottom 4 teams going up head-to-head. And, I mean, if New York wants to make it this year, they're going to have to go on one hell of a run here in this major. But I don't know. I mean, it's very possible, but I really don't know. So, nonetheless, I think I'm going to give it to New York, but I think it's going to be in 5 games. I think it'll be a relatively close series. Then we move on to Texas versus Boston. Capsule on the bench, Vivid in, which was really surprising to me, I'm not going to lie. But I'm intrigued to see how that works for Boston. I could see it working for Boston, but at the same time, Vivid is just as streaky. Well, maybe not just as streaky. He's probably a little bit more well-rounded, I guess we'll say, than Capsule. But he's very streaky, just like Capsule and Nero. So, I don't know. Of course, there was a bunch of roster mania over the past week, so I'm very intrigued to see. Now, I don't know if the roster lock is a thing. I don't know if they were doing a roster lock this year or not, but if it is, I think now would be the final rosters for everyone. So, nonetheless, I'm going to give it to Texas. I could see Boston taking a map, but overall, I just think Texas is going to continue on a pretty easy pace here for them. So, yeah, we'll continue on to the final match of today. We've got Toronto versus LAG. I mean, I don't think there's any reason for Toronto to lose this series, but then again, you never know. Of course, the Gorillas have changed things around as well. Honestly, I think I'm going to give it to Toronto in 3, though. I mean, Toronto really proved that they were a top team still, or they can still be a top team, so I would imagine it carries over into this event. And I mean, the Gorillas haven't won a series since, I believe, Major 2 when they won, so yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, and there's just no reason to vote against the Ultra, again, when it's the Gorillas, at least, in this situation. So, yeah, well, let's continue on. So, London versus Toronto, again, I feel like this is pretty one-sided, and I feel like it's Toronto again. We shall see. I mean, you never know. But yeah, I mean, I think Toronto wins it relatively cleanly, and similar story here. I think New York will take it over the Gorillas as well. I think this one will be a little bit closer, probably go to the distance. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I'd be shocked if the Gorillas honestly make the postseason at the rate that they're going, but you never know. Now, this next series will be a really fun one. Of course, a Game Fuel marquee match between Texas and Minnesota, which will be a really fun series, I'm sure. I think I'm going to give it to Texas in 5. I mean, it's very possible it goes either way. I would imagine the series goes 5 nonetheless. So who knows? Now, obviously, Thieves went on a bit of a loser's bracket run in Major 3. I still don't have much faith in them, although I don't have much faith in Boston either right now. I don't really think there's a clear winner here. I think it's very 50-50. I think either way, it goes 3-1. And you know what? I'm going to give it to the Thieves this week. Next week it's very possible I could have the Thieves back down in the dumps, but you never know. Nonetheless, continuing on to Sunday, we've got Paris versus Seattle to start things off, and I mean, there's absolutely no reason for Seattle to lose this series. Arguably the best team in the league right now, so yeah, I'm going to give it to Seattle in 3, unfortunately for Paris. And I mean, there's absolutely no shot Paris is making it into the playoff picture right now. They would need to go 5-0 at qualifiers, and they would have to win the event, which is, I mean, that's 50 points plus 65. So that's 115 points, which would bring them up to 135 points, which would put them 6th. That's assuming no one above them up till Boston wins a series. So obviously, it's very, very unlikely that the Legion will actually do anything. Unfortunately, it's very, very, very unlikely for them to make the postseason. So unfortunately for them, yeah, I mean, they're going to be 2-18, unfortunately. Who did they beat this year? They beat Toronto and... Was it Boston? No, it wasn't Boston. I don't know. They beat Toronto and someone. I don't remember who it was, though. Nonetheless, we'll continue on. Minnesota versus Florida should be another interesting series. I am going to give it to Minnesota, though. I could see Florida taking map 1, probably, but then Minnesota running away with it after that. I still think Minnesota's a very strong team. I think they just kind of choked on land, so it's very possible that Mutineers win that series, and it's very possible for the Mutineers to go 2-0, but I have them going 0-2, just slightly, though. And then the main event of Sunday, we have Atlanta versus the LA Thieves, which will be another fun series, I'm sure. Ultimately, I think I'm going to give it to Atlanta. I mean, neither of these teams have really impressed me much of late. I wouldn't be surprised if the Thieves didn't take a map. I think I might give the Thieves the control, just because why not? I just feel like why not? So, yeah, I mean, at this rate... I mean, I'm not too confident in some of these matches, but then I'm very confident in some of these other matches. Like, I'm very confident in Texas beating Boston. I'm very confident in Toronto beating LAG and London. I'm very confident in New York beating LAG. Not so confident in Texas and Minnesota. Not so confident in LAT and Boston. I'm very confident in Seattle over Paris. I'm pretty confident of Minnesota over Florida, and I'm pretty confident with Atlanta over the Thieves. But you never know, right? Anything could happen. So let me save my predictions real quick because I only got 40 seconds to do so. So there we go. Predictions have been saved. I am intrigued to see how today's matches go. Of course, it's almost playoff time, so we really need to keep an eye on these standings and take a look at how they're changing every week now. So I'm very intrigued to see how things go. I mean, as of right now, I have the Subliners going 2-0 this week. I have the Mutineers going 0-2 this week, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Subliners go 1-1 this week either. For Boston, I have them going 0-2. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 1-1. I would be surprised if they would go 2-0, though. Texas, I have them going 2-0. Wouldn't be surprised if they went 1-1. Be surprised if they went 0-2. Gorillas, I have 0-2. I'd be stunned if they honestly won a series this week. It's been so long since they have, so who knows. Toronto, I have 2-0. I'd be pretty shocked if they went 1-1, to be honest. I feel like there's a much higher chance they lose against the Ravens than the Gorillas, but you never know. Yeah, so continuing on, Minnesota, I have going 1-1. Wouldn't be surprised if they go 2-0. Breach, oh no, I already said the Breach. Thieves, I have them going 1-1. Wouldn't really be surprised if they go 0-2. Would be very surprised if they went 2-0. Paris, I have going 0-1. I'd be very shocked if they beat Seattle. Seattle, I have going 1-0. I'd be very shocked if they lost to Paris. And Atlanta, I have 1-0. I'd be pretty surprised if they lost to the Thieves. So I'm intrigued to see how this weekend goes. Only time will tell. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.